Hey gamers, happy Absa release day to all that celebrate. With Absa, however, came a brand new patch, so I just wanted to go through it really quickly. There were a few balance changes, but not very many, so this one today will be pretty short. If you're looking for an Absa guide, by the way, I have one of those. I'll leave it linked up here in the corner and down below in the description. With that being said, let's get started. First of all, we have the Absa character release. The Storm Architect is finally here. Today's patch welcomes a classic returning character to the Rivals 2 roster with thunderous applause. Absa is available for free to all players right now. So I think that Absa was the last original character from Rivals 1 returning that was like in the base cast of Rivals 1. So it's really cool to see her back. And now it's kind of up in the air who we'll get. I don't think it's like quite as obvious what order they'll do the next returning characters. So I'm kind of excited to like figure that one out, but we'll see that with time. Next up though, they say, Absa comes with her own progression awards, coin shop rewards, and her own arcade mode. All of this and more is available right now. So for her progression awards, she has all these fun little skins and icons. Her coin shop rewards is this boa goat skin, this one right here. I really like the texturing on the cloth. And then the coin shop also has a black palette, which I was using last night on stream. And then her abyss mode has the abyss palette, which is this. And then her level 100 award is this abyss skin here. This one's really sick. Whenever I saw it, I was like really shocked. Like I assumed like they would put the eyes on like maybe her chest where this little swirl is, or like maybe on her horns, right? I think putting it on her forehead like makes so much sense. You know, she's like a big brain character. She's got a big eyeball. Here's that black palette that I mentioned. I believe that these are all also available in the coin shop. So some super fun palettes. Next up, they have an Absa 101. This breakdown is really good. It's very, very simple. If you're looking for a little bit more of an in-depth guide that shows off some combos and like how to use tech, I recommend my own. But of course, like I would always gas up my own guides, you know. Next up, we have the pool party event. They say, summer is here and boy is it hot. That's very true, I'm in Texas. It's time to cool off with a pool party. Our July event has a pool party Loxodon, Clarin, and Absa as featured skins, with some splashing icons to match. Pool Party Absa has a custom taunt and victory line, and Pool Party Clarin has a custom victory line. The new cosmetics are paired with 25,000 ether coins and 250 ether bucks. If you guys want to get these, use code LASTSTOCK. It supports me in my events, and you'll also get some extra ether bucks, by the way. They say, our free track for June contains the Pool Party Absa emote, the Pool Party Death Effect, the Pool Party Platform, the Otter Maple icon, and the Pool Party Rano skin. Players equipping any event skins above, or the Pool Party Fleet skin, will receive a 20% bonus XP amount on the event track. There's also a brand new pink Pool Party Fleet palette in the in-game shop. I don't see the maple icon that they talked about, but everything else is here. I really like all these cosmetics. I'm a big fan of more like casual wear cosmetics, right? I think they add more personality to the characters. I really like Rano with the floaty. It kind of implies he can't swim, you know? I would assume he can swim. Next up for new shop items, there's going to be a yellow Olympia palette, and this is the pink Pool Party Fleet. I actually really like this color scheme on her. I kind of like, this skin was like a solid like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for me, but I think this pink palette definitely elevates it up a little higher. We'll also be getting these new effects and icons. There will be a Fireworks Death Effect, a promo for the 4th of July, and then also we're going to be getting all these icons here that I already mentioned. I'm a really big fan of these watercolor ones from Arcane's trailer. I'm kind of surprised we didn't already have them in the game. And then we also have the little Rivals of Ether dude over here playing in the pool. So I'm excited to check all these out. I might actually like buy a few of these. These are very sick. Finally, this one I've been like super excited to share with y'all because I had access to these on the beta build thanks to the devs for that. But they say, we're bringing back a seasonal favorite from the original Rivals of Ether. Summer palettes are here for every rival, as a special release similar to the Halloween palettes that we showed off in 2024. Check them out. So these palettes have like a much different color scheme than anything else that we have in the game so far. I really like how the characters kind of look like they're glowing. Like I feel like this color scheme pairs very, very, very nicely together. Compared to some of the other palettes. I'm a big fan of Arcane's. Fleet and Edalus look really good. And then I also think like Crag and Raster look great. I feel like it doesn't work the best on some characters. Like I'm going to be really honest. Sorry Absa and Loxodon fans. I think they're just okay here. But I mean, they're still not terrible, you know. If you're into them, you're into them. These palettes are available in the coin and buck shop like normal, but are also available with the new Fireworks Death Effect in our 4th of July bundle. So if you do buy the 4th of July bundle, I assume it'll be in the event shop. You guys can check that out and you'll get all of those for free. Finally, for the rank shop update, Champion Maple has been added to the rank shop. This includes a skin, 2 emotes, and 2 icons for the Sylvain Watcher. So I really like her emotes, they're very expressive. And I will definitely be getting the skin. I love the color palette like on her body itself. It looks very nice with the crystal effect. Next up, the Ranked version 2 season rollover. Ranked mode has been given a soft reset once again. Any occurred rank up bonus medals will be granted to players, and a UI element has been added to show off your past season ranks and to view previous ranked season leaderboards. So this is really cool. I talked about this in a Null post the other day, but I was really hoping they would have a way to show where you're at and what seasons you started playing and what characters you made during those seasons on ranked cards. So I'm glad to see that that's a thing. Next up, the replay camera is getting a quick update. Quality of life updates have been made to the replay camera. Check it out in your next replay. I'm excited to try this out. They already had really good camera controls for making videos and footage. That's never really been anything that I've been into, but I'm excited to try it and see if it's a little bit easier to use. Next up, GameCube controller adapter setup. We've added a new process to make GameCube controller support functional and easier for players getting into the game. If you've been holding off on using your trusty GameCube controller, or are just joining us with the new update, be sure to give it a try. So this should have a setup, and it'll download the programs that you need to run the adapter, I imagine. I know that Slippy uses the same stuff as Rivals, so if you had Slippy, that was normally the easiest way to make it work. But now they'll have an in-game thing that'll help you out there. Finally, moving on to our balance changes, they say, there are very few balance changes with Absa's release, keeping us in line with our goal to keep big patches a bit more spread out. Most of the changes listed are adjustments made following the big changes from our June mid-month patch, while some are specifically made to work with new quirks that Absa's release adds to the engine. So from what I can tell, we have Rano, Raster, Crag, and Olympia, so definitely most of the characters being touched are from that original June patch, which I'm glad to see they're going back and making adjustments if they think something is a little bit off or maybe if feedback is not what they were hoping for. So that's always good to hear. First up, let's go through the general changes though. Hitting a ceiling while performing a special will no longer end your vertical momentum. This means that Crag Rock will no longer stop recovery moves in place when they collide with it before breaking it. I guess this would also help against things like pineappling, right? If you're recovering against a ceiling. However, if you are going to get pineappled, that's a pretty rough spot to get hit by an air armada. So I don't know if that's actually going to come into play, but I think it would help there as well. Environmental collision box bottoms will be unfrozen when starting a double jump. This only affects Absa since her double jump starts by going downwards. This means that if you double jump right near the ground, right, Absa will still rise unless you do some kind of double jump cancel and then she'll clip onto the ground. But if you do the double jump by the ground, you'll get the rise momentum instead of just landing on the floor. Next up, we have a few bug fixes. They say they fixed a bug that caused spot dodge to slide further than intended when used with high velocity, and fixed a bug that allowed characters to slip off the ledge 1 frame after grabbing an opponent, canceling the grab. Finally, for our last note, Baseball Clarin had her tipper hit sounds completely remade. So these should sound completely different now. Before, they were kind of a mix of the baseball bat sound and her old tipper sound that's on her default skin. So I'm curious to hear how those got mixed up. Moving on to our character changes though, Rano's up special Rising Hitbox has been moved upward halfway between the old and new values. They say, after last patch's reduction to the disjoint of the move, it became a bit too susceptible to lingering hitboxes off stage, so we're partially reverting this change. I really like this a lot. I feel like Rano is definitely having trouble recovering, which was kind of the goal of the last patch from what I could tell at least. However, I feel like making it to where it's if he recovers correctly and he's getting clipped by moves that he shouldn't be, right? I feel like that's kind of unfair to him, so I'm glad to see this is a good in-between now, where he's not going to be able to poke you with some massive disjoint on his up B, but he won't be getting poked by moves that he probably should be able to hit through. So overall, really good change. For Raster, they say, Slipstream speed boost will now last for 20 frames after leaving the slipstream. With the newly shortened slipstream duration, the boost would often disappear suddenly mid-attack. This was especially detrimental to Raster's down special, which is much slower outside of the slipstream. This change gives Raster a little bit more leniency in maintaining the slipstream boost. I really like this change because with Raster's new slipstream only lasting for 2 seconds, I would have a lot of moments where I would commit to a movement option and the slipstream would go away midway through my movement option, but I wouldn't really have a warning oh, you're out of time, right? So as someone who was not a Raster main and who didn't have that timing down 100%, it was a little bit frustrating not to know exactly okay, am I good to commit to this? Should I not? How long is my slipstream going to be up? So this kind of gives you a little bit more clarity and a little bit more leniency, right, on when it does go down. For his other change, The forward tilt innermost hitbox radius has increased by 15 centimeters, then moved forward and downward. This makes it reach lower so that it can more consistently hit short characters at a point-blank range. I'm not exactly sure what characters he wasn't hitting, but consistency changes and quality of life things like this always make the character feel a little bit better. Next up we have Crag with 3 changes. They say, Pillar can now only be broken by players whose current and previous ECB bottoms locations are below it. Previously, it only checked the current ECB bottom, which would lead to some weird teleportation bugs when a character hit the pillar immediately after leaving it. This was most common with Absa's up special during testing. So basically what this means is that if you're standing on pillar, you're not going to be able to break it, because your ECB bottom would be above it. So if you do land on top of pillar and you somehow get knocked off of it, right? Or let's say you're standing on pillar and you buffer to move, you will not break it anymore. So that just smooths out the consistency with pillar a little bit. Down throw recovery has been buffed from 17 to 15, and its knockback angle has been changed slightly. We're partially reverting the end lag increase from last patch, while changing the knockback to be more dynamic at low percents. I like this kind of a change, because it makes the down throw more consistent at higher percents rate, which I think it was a little bit too inconsistent last patch. However, it also does edit this knockback so the person being hit has ways to DI now, so now there's more counterplay, but Crag also has more of an advantage, right, if you don't apply that counterplay correctly. So overall, I think this will be a good change, but I haven't tried it yet. Finally, for Olympia, Downstrong hit 1 knockback has been edited. They say, with last patch's removal of early knockback gravity easing, opponents hit by this move would be able to shield the second hit by just DIing away from Olympia. This counterplay made the move too unreliable, so we're making it send slightly higher to keep the opponents off the ground for longer. So this is overall kind of like a bug fix, right? Like it was an unintentional change happening in the game. But I am glad to see that this is fixed, because playing Olympia was definitely a little bit frustrating with that move not connecting. Finally, the devs say, thank you so much for reading, and as always, please give us your ideas and feedback. We have a brand new note board with today's patch, so head on over and let us know what you're thinking. I'll link this note board down below in the description, so if you have any notes for the devs, anything you want them to see, I know they read everything there, so go ahead and fill out a little post there. With that being said, that's everything today in the patch. I hope you guys are enjoying Absa just as much as I am, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye for now!